I cannot sleep. All of our schedules, or maybe I'm like speaking too broadly, but I feel like maybe all of our schedules are a little messed up from this pandemic situation. We're all home, and it's just been a struggle. So, what I decided to do, because I haven't done this in a long time, first of all, I'm all cozy in bed. I'm just like here. Was laying down, and I realized that I'm not tired. I don't know why. First of all, I want to shout out to Crece Pelo. If you got some like puffy hair and you need a little assistance, this thing has been coming through. My hair was just really puffy for a long time, and I feel like it's finally like being handled. I feel so amazing. I had one of my coworkers, she has really curly hair. I don't have really curly hair. I just have like wavy hair that can get pretty like dry, like very dry, to where it gets very puffy like out here. But since it's not like this curly hair, it's just like almost like straight puff. It's not very becoming of me. That shit had to be like done with. So got the crece pelo. It's coming through. Love it. But that is not what this video is about. This is just one of those late night videos. I'm actually going to be doing an interview with a deck. Yes, it's been a while. I'm picking Ostara Tarot, and I'm picking this deck because I've not connected with this deck. I've had this deck for over a month, and I don't use it ever. And you know what? A couple things pissed me off when I first got it. First of all, let's talk about the things that I liked, okay? I'm getting myself comfy because we are here. We're doing it. Love the book. Oh my gosh. Love the book. If you're somebody who needs the book, I haven't read the book at all, but I love that I have it. I love to have information. I am somebody who loves having information and kind of thrives off knowledge. I am very cerebral. It is hard for me to get back down to earth sometimes. It is hard for me to not find joy in studying, even if the studying is killing me. I mean, it's just how I function, okay? If you guys don't know me, don't know anything about me, a little bit of background, I am a neuro nerd. I am a neuroscience student, and it kills me. Death, it's killing me. But I also love it. One thing I will say though is I'm so grateful for this break, even though it's coming because of really bad reasons, right? Like we have, if you're watching this in April 2020, we are currently all locked down, locked at home, going through a pandemic. It is very serious for a lot of us. But the bright side about that is that I'm home. I'm home and I'm healthy, and I hope that you guys are all home and healthy as well, and just practicing social distancing and making sure that you're honoring the rules right now, because that's going to be very important to everybody, right? Herd immunity, right? So, said that to say, like, I've taken a break of studying, and I've been studying other things because I've not been in school right now, but I am very cerebral. So a couple of the things I've been studying have a lot to do with my spiritual practice, which is why I've made this channel, and I love to share with you guys as much as I learn. But I'm going to be doing an interview with the deck. I find them to be fun, and if you're somebody who has not really found a way to connect with your decks, this is a great way to do it. I have not done an interview with the deck for a while, and I don't know why I didn't think to do it with this deck, because I've been actually really struggling to connect with this deck. So I'm picking, again, the Ostara Tarot. It was made by 4 different artists, right? Like 4 different artists contributed to this. Their artist names are on the box. We have Eden Cook, Molly Applejohn. These are like really cute names, by the way. Julia Iredale and Krista Gibbard. Like, okay. Great names, ladies. I love that it's an all-woman deck. 4 is definitely my number also. Anyway, I didn't get it for any signs. I think I just saw somebody using it, and I was like, oh, I'm interested in that. But then I actually saw the artwork, and I like it. For 4 different artists, a lot of times when you get multiple artists on a deck, it can be a little bit difficult where it can feel like the deck does not flow. It can feel like 4 different artists. They were very successful in at least creating a deck that feels very cohesive and definitely flows together, okay? So I think that's definitely a plus. The artwork is beautiful. I'll give you some examples. Let me see if I can find some of my favorite cards. I love the way they went about this, actually. I remember when I opened this, I was very, like, like when I opened this box and looked at these cards, I thought this is far more beautiful in person than the images like in video or online, allowed me to really see. I'm just picking right now a couple of my favorite cards so you can get an example of the style of artwork here, because I do like it. I wonder if they're, so it doesn't say the artist name on the card, which is okay. I don't really like my cards to have a bunch of extra shit. Like, take that shit elsewhere, okay? I'll show you. So these are some good ones. I love this depiction of the Fool. I love that this depiction of the Fool is a woman. Like, this goes hard, guys. This is a beautiful depiction of the Fool. The colors are vivid. They are beautiful. My lighting right now, I don't have good lighting and it's the middle of the night. So I'm actually using I have a plant light that I'm using. It's very bright. It's like, you see this hard shadow that it's casting. Yeah. But I will say it's definitely doing some justice on these cards. Okay. So they're saturated and they're very colorful, but they're not as bright, right? I just have a really amazing light right now. Another card that I like, Six of Wands. So what they did here was like, it took me a while to note, like I was like, where are the suits? But then I realized like these are the wands right here. And I honestly, like, it was not very, like, that did not happen instantly for me. I was very confused I was like looking at the cards during like the first time I picked them up and I was like, I'm not understanding what's going on here. So this would be Three of Cups. Three of Cups? Yes. I love this card so much. I love this Three of Cups. Do I feel like it embodies what the Three of Cups should embody? This is a deck that's going to go really well for anybody who really likes to do intuitive reading. Because you can just create beautiful stories and you can definitely allow these images to take you somewhere. I really feel like what this deck is really good at is like really taking you somewhere. So yeah. Now we have multiple hands here, so I guess you can, if you are familiar with the energy of the Three of Cups, then you maybe will get that here. But I get a little bit of sadness actually in this. It's very strange. So this is a really interesting deck in that things are not very traditional here, right? The Fool is a woman. The Three of Cups looks a little sad. She's half drowned. She's got these frogs all over her. This is not a card that makes me think celebration. This is a card that makes me think like it's overcrowded. Like there's too many people here. So this is really going to be good for more intuitive style reading, right? Let's see. Oh, did I show you guys the Fool? I think I did. And the Six of Wands as well. And then this is always one of my favorite cards, the Six of Swords. I always look for the Six of Swords in every deck because this is a card that I don't know why. I don't really even remember when I've become so in love with the Six of Swords in every deck that I'm going looking for it. But it's definitely become one of my favorite cards. I just love, like, I love the idea of somebody understanding when their time is up in a space and like taking what they've got and going and saying, you know what, I'm going to something different. I'm moving forward to something new, a new perspective, a new lesson, a new relationship, a new job, whatever it might be. There's a little bit of the hard lesson that has been learned that you take with you and a little bit of the sadness from that hard lesson that's been learned. This sword is in water, right? So there's a definite emotional aspect to it and a depth to this card. It's not, a lot of swords can just be a lot of air, but I love that they incorporate water in the Six of Swords for every deck, or for most decks, all of the decks that I've used. And this almost makes me think of a children's book. So there's you definitely see and feel the difference. You definitely see and feel the different artist. But they do feel cohesive, so it's almost like you can feel the respective artist but still get this sense of cohesion, which is maybe difficult to do. Okay, so love the book. I think the artwork is really beautiful. I think it's especially going to be a great deck if you're a only intuitive reader. Like you don't really know the you don't really know the cards, you don't really know the symbols, you're interested in really only doing intuitive style reading or improvisational style reading, that definitely has a huge and powerful space, and there's definitely something behind that. And so if that's what you're really into and that's what you connect to, then this is probably going to be a great deck for you. Okay, so next what I want to do is I want to interview this deck. So this is a great thing to do if you're not connecting with your deck. So for my decks, when I try to connect with them, I'm very cerebral. This is what I do. I almost do a study on the decks. I compare all of my suits within that deck. I compare how the artist has depicted all of the suits within the deck. I kind of reach for psychic pings. I kind of reach for intuitive meaning. What initially comes up? What is it that I feel when I see these decks, when I see these suits, when I see the court cards, when I see the major arcana? What are the initial things that come up? Like, me saying, oh, the Fool is depicted as a woman in this one. Or, the Cups, if it looks sad. That's the kind of thing I'll do. I'll look at the cards. I'll look at all of them. And I'll look at them and I'll kind of feel what I feel first before actually going into a study about them. Then I'll separate my deck and I will put my notebook out and I will make it an experience, because this is how I connect. Everybody is so different. That might not be important for you. For me, I almost have to really learn the card. How many Six of Swords are you going to have to study? But you want to sit there and almost develop a relationship with each card, with each deck, and especially with your favorite cards. So I like to pick out my favorite card within each deck, which might be different for each deck. Because for me, when I see it, it really is going to signify positive energy for me, or a good sign. And then I like to pick out the card that repels me the most, right? Because then when I see that card, I know that that's another sign of something, right? So I like to go into the deck and almost pick my own personal signifier card, right? I don't know if you work with signifier cards. If you do not, they're very helpful. They are very informative. So I will go, when I'm learning a deck or when I'm making an effort to connect with the deck, I will go in and I do read reversals in my deck, in my readings, but for interviewing the deck, I don't feel like it's important to read reversals. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be interviewing the deck. But before we interview the deck, I want to, first of all, I have no clue what this is. Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords. Is this maybe this is Knight of Swords? So good thing that they have the book, because I'm going to go into this book and try to figure out, just try to clarify, are you a Knight of Wands or a Knight of Swords? Knight of Cups. Oh, is that a gigantic cup? So some of this artwork is confusing. That is a gigantic cup, I think. Maybe you guys caught that immediately. I sure as hell did not catch that at all. So this is going to be great for intuitive reads. Not necessarily for somebody who is looking for the signs, the symbols. Or if you're looking deeply for the symbols, you might catch it quickly. But, when you're kind of going in for psychic hits, that might not be, looking deeply into the card to wait for, to see the symbols might not be happening for you. But I love that this one has a snake. She's got this snake going on. She's got these leaves back there. And what I love about that is that, the snake can be sexuality, right? And can be mischief, but it can be, deviance, right? But it can also be Kundalini rising, right? And then we've got this, beautiful pink window back there. And this is, the Five of Pentacles. And so we know that the Five of Pentacles is really this, almost isolated. This person really feels, disconnected from resource, almost financially, financial debt, financial burden, or even feeling the material world has been kind of crumbling for them. They don't have a sense of security. They've broken free from the number 4, right? They've broken the structure of 4 to the number 5. They've broken away from that traditional structure, and they're trying to expand and grow, but they may be at a loss right now. But they're not truly at a loss, right? Because there's hope. That window is a sign of hope. That window is a sign of resources available, that this person may or may not be tapping into, may or may not be aware of, or may not be wanting to like call upon that resource. So they have this sense of isolation that may not be true. And maybe this snake that's leading them in this card is very much like the garden is out there, right? But you are not with this garden. So the snake should be in the garden, but this person is isolated from the garden. The snake is also maybe misguiding them, like giving them the wrong information, maybe encouraging or influencing them to feel isolated. So I love this deck for being able to, for really encouraging intuition. Great book. Again, color, full color. I love this. I love that you have color. I love that I did not know what that card was, but I was able to immediately find it in here, and like it was easy because this is all color pictures in here. That's great. I love that. That's beautiful. That's that's like good production, right? This is mass market, so it's going to be good production. Red Feather makes this. I guess the company that has funded this. So, love this. Hear that little magnetic clasp? I'm in for it. I love that. My stuff feels secure in here, except it does not. Because look at this big old box. Look at these. Look at this. They just slide around in here. And you want to split them like this, right? Because your book needs to fit in here as well. I'm going to show you in a second. This bothers me so much that they did this, that they didn't put a divider. Why is there no divider here? So that is another down. Like, why? Tell me why. Somebody tell me why. How much was a divider, guys? I don't know how much was a divider. I would have paid a couple more dollars for this deck of cards if they would have given me a divider, honestly. Also, when I first got the cards, they were stuck. They were so stuck together. So the gilding caused them to be stuck, almost like 6 cards, maybe 4 cards in one. And I had to bend them around until I heard a snap for each one. And then once they snapped, I was able to pull them apart. But if I tried to go in just with my finger and separate the cards, then I would be like messing up the card, essentially. I would be peeling back some of the cards. So I didn't want to do that because I tried to do that and I saw that I was going to mess up my cards. So I also did not like that a lot, that the gilding that they did somehow caused all the cards to like group together in these sections of about 4 cards each. And then I had to go in and snap them apart. It was very, very time consuming. I don't know if that's the case with all of these decks. This deck has been around for a little bit now. Was it just like a one-off? Like this happened to me? So this has been around since 2017. So I don't know if everybody's had this experience. There's, I'm sure, a lot of other videos out there that people might talk about that if that's something that's common. I would look out for it because honestly, if I knew that was the case, I might not have gotten this deck because that really upset me. It upset me to have to do that and to almost risk like messing up my deck. Yeah, anyway. Glad that I did get it though. The images are beautiful. It's definitely going to encourage a different style of reading for me than I am used to. And that's okay. I'm very open to that. I just dropped a bunch of cards. So if you've never interviewed a deck, I will get into it right now. I have so many decks. I have at least 20, I think, right now. Maybe more. I don't know. And I don't interview all of them. Some of them there's just this immediate bond, this immediate connection with. And they all have I use them all for different things. Like I have the Nicoletta Cecoli with me right now. And this deck is like my shadowy deck. It's not a deck that I use for most things, to be honest. It's a very personal deck. I don't even use it a lot. I don't know. I love it, but it has a very shadowy feeling. And I love that. I love this deck because of that. Because I feel like you need to have a deck like that in your arsenal because you want to be fully equipped for whatever you might be doing, right? I'm shuffling. They shuffle nicely. I can say that. Let me show you. Let me see if I can do it. Lift it while I'm doing this. So, they do shuffle well. I rifle shuffle. If that's what you do, please know that it works out. It's fine. Oh, it was difficult because I'm lifting this up. Let me try to one more time for you. And then I'm going to ask my deck questions. So if you're new to tarot, welcome. Welcome to the club. It is a cool, fun club to be in. Super open, super non-judgmental. Like, everybody has their own style. That's the beautiful part about spirituality, about witchcraft, about all of it. It's just that there's no wrong way. There's no wrong way to do anything. The wrong way to do something is to tell somebody you're doing this wrong and you need to do what I do or else. That's the wrong way. Otherwise, you're pretty straight to do whatever. And there's a huge, I messed that up because it's like in the air, but there's a huge community. There's a lot of support. I mean, people want to be supportive and want to help people along this path. And you'll find a lot of videos that will show you that that's the case. Anyway, so I'm going to just ask a couple questions to the deck. Like, identify yourself. What is the energy? What is the primary energy that you carry? And I like to shuffle until I get this, like, feeling. And I don't know when I'll feel it, but I will. What is your primary energy? Can you identify yourself? The Empress. Oh, I like that. See, I love that so much. So this deck really wants to birth new ideas, wants to help me bring things. Maybe it doesn't want to help me. I'm going to ask what it wants to help me do, but it wants to bring things into fruition, right? It wants to give me this motherly, supporting, nurturing energy. She's got this beautiful flower in her hand. She looks like she's going to make a wish. She's got a bird's nest in her hair, which I love because air, right? Thoughts and, like, supporting thoughts, right? Supporting, like, being the nest in the hair, in the head space. So, like, and then having a bird in there, wanting to support this baby bird to grow. So wanting to support these thoughts to grow into something beautiful, right? Connecting with this earth energy, having this, like, radiant sun coming out. So beautiful. All right, I feel you, deck. I feel you. Next, I'm going to ask, how do you see me? How do you see me? Oh, all these want to fall, but we're not going to let that happen. We'll see. Maybe one will fall out. Oh, and one did not fall out. One flipped, guys. Wheel of Fortune. So, and somebody who's going with the flow, somebody who needs to learn to flow with the natural changes in life. Change is something I actually really struggle with, just a side note. So I can see this. I can see, like me, you know, this deck seeing me as somebody who has to flow. I have to learn how to flow and let go and understand that the bad comes, but so does the good, right? And that all things, like universal law will have it so that nothing is passed by the universe, right? Like all karma is paid, all debt is paid, but all joy is rewarded. Like, all good is rewarded, as well as all bad having to be paid off, right? And this is weird because I've been like really reestablishing my ideas of good and bad, because we tend to judge things as good and bad because we have very dualistic perspective on how things should be, right? On our moral compass, right? Which is great. We want to lead very good lives or be good people. So, but good according to what? Good according to who? So I don't know. This really makes me think of being seen as somebody who must learn to flow with the tides, learn to be one with the natural cycles and the natural rhythms of life. And that is how I will, I guess, or should learn to navigate. All right, what will you teach me? What will you teach me? The Lovers and the World. And that's so funny, right? Because the first two cards were Empress and Wheel of Fortune. So we are getting all major arcana. You guys are watching me shuffle. I mean, this deck is saying that we have the potential to do some really powerful work here. We have the potential to really do something powerful, really connect to harmony and philosophy and love and like really putting this ethical and morally upstanding and like harmonizing two dualistic perspectives, being able to merge the reason why I'm not able to flow, right? And being able to tap in and channel all that is, all that should be, right? Because we have, right, Aquarius, Taurus, Oh, I forget the other two, and they're like major ones as well. So, but it's 2 in the morning and I'm brain dead now. But this is saying that all elements, pretty much all signs, all elements are represented here, right? Leo, I believe, is one of them. And I don't know what the other one is, to be honest. But I will say I do know that it's supposed to represent all of the elements. And anyway, when I look at this card, I just get such this warm, peaceful feeling. This color, the fact that they chose this color, the images that they chose, the fact that parts of the world are kind of breaking off, but there's this cloud that's kind of circling it, and we've got all these beautiful stars depicted there. There's just this feeling of peace and harmony with all that is, right? And all that is not just, you know, good and bad. It's all of the elements that create. It's the ability to transmute all those elements to find oneness within them. So this is what this wants to teach me. Really harmony and becoming one, and not to say becoming one in this corny way, but really understanding that all things are connected, right? And that nothing is passed by the universe, right? All right. Are there any obstacles in my way? This is a good question. Are there any obstacles in my way? Me, I mean, whatever. It's funny. I don't really use tarot on myself very much anymore. I do use tarot to study. I love to study. Again, I gain a lot of enjoyment out of studying the tarot, but I don't ask questions for myself really or anything like that. Unless, I mean, very rarely, very, very rarely at this point. Are there any obstacles in the way? The King of Pentacles, right? Fire and earth. But fire can really burn through earth, and also fire can also what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say nurture earth, but that's not the word I'm looking for. It can really enhance the quality of earth and change something like earth to clay. You know what I mean? Which is still earth, but almost like this enhanced quality of earth. So this ability, like the things that are in my way would be material things in my way, maybe ego getting in the way, this masculine, not to say that masculine is only ego, but the way that I'm picking this up, but especially given this image is like this somebody who's really driven by material, right? I don't resonate with that, but that's what this card sees, that could be something that gets in my way. Okay, card, I see you, I hear you. And let's just do one more question. Or this thing is trying to tell me stuff. We got the Three of Cups. that card that I'm just like, I don't know why, this one looks so sad, right? Like this Three of Cups does not, like this pool of water just looks so crowded. She looks like she can't breathe. She just looks sad. She doesn't look peaceful to me. She just looks like, I don't know, just not so good. But then there's other people here, and you can see back here, this person in this corner back here, there's a person there drinking some water as well. So they're all in this pool together drinking from the same pool. So this is going to be an expansion. There's going to be an expansion of intuition, right? Water being intuition. There's going to be this this community, this sense of community of drinking all from the same pool. And instead of having this gigantic, enormous celebratory feeling, maybe there's going to be almost like this homage to companionship, right? This like mellowed energy where we are sharing, but we are not hyperly sharing. We're doing this together. Anyway, guys, so I want to know the element. I want to know this. It's going to bother me unless I find it out. I know the energy of this card. I love the world. I love the way that it feels. I love that it really talks about all of these elements coming together and to create this world experience, right? Or to bring the fuller picture into one, but also to kind of connect deeper to the things that are maybe not seen with the naked eye. Very interesting. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching. If you're up with me at this time. Again, this is the Ostara deck. Ostara Tarot. It came out in 2017. 4 different women artists. Really love that. Not a fan of the box. If you're thinking of getting it, this might be really great if you're a very, very intuitive reader who does not necessarily have a working knowledge of the deck. Also, if you do have a working knowledge of the deck, but you prefer to not refer to that working knowledge of the deck and try to do more improvisation based on like your psychic hits that you get from when you see pictures, which is very powerful also. Everybody has their own style, which is, you know, that's why there's so many different decks. This is a really great deck for that. I would encourage you, if you are that type of reader, to look into this deck. Negatives would be the fact that the cards stuck. I did not like that. It was a lot of work to unstick them. And also that the fact that there's no divider here. If those are not misses for you, I want to say this, $25, guys. This deck's not... It's not going to break the bank, okay? It's decent quality also for the fact that it's $25. So, like, you really do get this lovely box with the magnetic clips. You really get a beautiful book with it if you are interested in learning the meanings of the cards, really getting into the history of tarot, that sort of thing. And, you know, the cards are beautiful. Look what I get. One of my favorite cards. I was just telling you guys. I mean, this is, I think, what I needed to do, because sometimes it's really hard to connect with... Look, I mean, you guys know how much I shuffled this. This is that Knight of Cups that I couldn't identify what that was. Sometimes it's really hard to connect with a deck, and I wasn't connecting with this deck. So when I'm not connecting with a deck, it's mostly because I haven't taken the time. It's mostly because it didn't come naturally. It wasn't it wasn't like this instant connection with this deck, or I was absolutely repelled by the fact that I had to pull apart the cards. I don't want to say repelled because that's such a strong word, but I was kind of upset about that, so I didn't use them for a while. I haven't used them for any readings yet. I think I'm going to try though, and I will let you know how that goes. Maybe I'll do a pick a card for you all using the Ostara Tarot because I'm feeling a little inspired. Anyway. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful night, day, whatever time it is that you're watching this. And I hope that this helps you to get some ideas of how you can connect with your tarot a little bit better. If you have any tarot questions, feel free to let me know. If you want to drop some astrology info down there, that is where I feel like I really can learn, and that is what I'm hoping to be studying next. I don't see myself getting too deeply into astrology. I have a very, very, very basic knowledge of astrology. Like, I know my sign, I know my sun sign, moon sign, rising, all that. I know my chart. But other than that, you know, I'm not well versed in astrology. So if you have any good information you want to share, feel free to drop a comment, like, subscribe, and share this video if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Bye.